You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas podcast with Jessica Raziri
and Sonia Tapley.
Freak and loves him some Windex, and I was literally in the guest bathroom with the Windex, and I'm washing the mirror, and I don't know. I guess that was sexy, and he came in. And I'm not going to do more details than that, but
yeah.
It's the Windex. The Windex really did it.
Yeah,
Windex.
I love that.
And it was like, y'all, that was the first try.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like, which I'm sorry, I sound like it, people out there are like, oh great, you got pregnant the first.
No,
yeah.
Try Windex. That worked.
Yeah,
especially with a clean free.
Like right after we were done, of course my mom calls because we talk all the time, and mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, making a baby. And she's like, Courtney, I don't need to know every detail. I'm like, I'm just gonna tell you that that was our first time, and I think it's gonna work. Yeah, so we had, and we had Waylon in 2003. I was 31, so I was on the cusp of geriatric, just right there. And it was a very easy, normal pregnancy. I mean, he sat on my sciatic, which I don't think, what most babies don't sit on your sciatic towards the end. And, towards the end, like all pregnancies, I wanted that pumpkin out.
Yeah.
Out. Because my due date was coming up, and I was like, okay, they never come on their due date. They're like, they either come before or after. Like, it's not going to happen on my due date.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just want him out. I wanted him out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we're going to go see a funny movie. I'm going to laugh him out. And so we went and saw that, Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah. And I laughed the whole time. And I'm like, I kept looking down going, okay, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. So we left there, and then we drove to my parents' house, and mom was like, come on, let's go for a long walk. That'll make it happen. And so we're walking in the neighborhood, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm peeing. I'm like, oh my God, my water broke. Like I thought it was cooling down. I was like, I'm peeing. And I did it. Funny movie and a long walk, and my water broke. And so then we go to the hospital, and I remember oh my God, my nurses' names were Christine and Shirley. And I didn't think anything of it at the time, but universe speaks to you. And Christine and Shirley were my great aunts' names, my grandmother's sisters.
I was thinking of Laverne and Shirley for a second. That's why I just chuckled.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, no, it was Laverne. Okay.
So Christine was my, because it was going into night, was my night nurse, and Shirley was my day nurse. And then I named my child Waylon, which was my grandmother's brother. So it's like the universe, sometimes when the universe speaks, you got to listen. I wasn't paying attention at the time. I just thought it was really cool that, they're me, my sister's names. How fun. And oh my God, Christine, she was this amazing, beautiful, big, voluptuous African-American woman. And when they were putting in the epidural, she's like, come to the titties, baby, come to the titties. And I just went, okay. And like, I just totally motorboated and just fell right into her boobs. And it's just like, she was the most amazing, beautiful woman. And I just I loved her. I was like, okay, I will do that. And
I will do that.
And then, then they're like, I remember they're like, okay, you need to go to sleep. I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep. Like, the epidural's in, let's go. It's time to go. They're like, no, I don't even remember what I was at, but it was like, you need to go to sleep. And they gave me some shot, and I went to sleep. Like, that was, I don't remember that being, I don't think that is normal, but
no,
I zonked out.
Wait, they put you to sleep through the birth?
Well, no, just to let me dilate. They just were like,
oh.
And I'm like, and
I think they wanted to do that to me too, but I was like, absolutely not.
No. Yeah. So
I feel like I would be all about that.
So I woke
up. Just let shit happen while I'm sleeping. I'm cool with that.
I woke up Jake, and I'm like, you got to get me out of the bed. I got to go to the bathroom. And he's like, let me get the nurse. And so the nurse comes in. She's like, yeah, she doesn't have to go to the bathroom. It's time to push. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh.
And so it's time to push. Now I've lost track of time, because I'm like, okay, I want to go to bed and sleep. When would that epidural come in? And I could tell she was putting like a towel or Kleenex or like blotting up. And I go, am I starting to tear? And she goes, yeah, why? I go, because I can feel that you're putting some towel or something there. Like, I go, if I can feel that, I'm about ready to feel a lot more. And she's like, yeah, let's notch it back up. So I went from feeling everything to feeling nothing. So now it's time to push, and I can't feel a thing. And the doctor's like, okay, I need you to push harder. I'm like, am I pushing? I don't know if I'm pushing, but I'm trying.
No.
So that's when the forceps came out. And so they used the forceps. And of course, he had this little head with
Like the jaws of life
on each side with the little.
Oh,
And so,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how long I was in labor. I know it was long enough that I but anyway, he was born on Jake's dad's birthday, which that was his due date. And so that was really cool that he
That
came
is really cool.
on his due date, and it was Jake's dad's birthday. So, and he was born, his APGAR was perfect. I mean, not perfect, but it was a great score. He was holding his head up in the hospital. My mom was like, oh my God, he's holding his head up already. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm a teacher and he's gifted and talented.
I'm a teacher.
So, we go home and everything's normal, and, he's in the room, he's in his room, we're like living life. And we just started noticing that he had a little bit of a raspy breathing, like a kind of a raspy sound and a belly breathing. And I'm like, okay, it's March, it's spring. This is allergies. I think he's got allergies. So we like tilted his crib so that way, any drainage could kind of run out. We got an air purifier. We did all of these things of like helping with allergies. And then we started noticing that he was just a little like his tone, he was a little floppy. Like he couldn't hold his head up anymore. And he just was kind of like, and I hate to use this term, but it's a term that they use. It's ragdoll, just kind of, he could barely lift up his arms. And I'm like, what is going on? And so we went to the pediatrician, and I'll never forget this. The pediatrician laid him down on his back and held his hands and was pulling him up, and his poor little head is doing like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, you need to work on these exercises to strengthen his neck. And I'm like, this looks miserable for him. And he really, he never cried. I think he cried once. But I was like this, and he goes, you know what? I'm going to send you to a neurologist because the neurologist is going to be able to give you better exercises. And I'm like, cool. Like, I'm a teacher. I fix these things. Let's go. I'm going to the neurologist. That morning I got up and, I put Waylon in his little polo shirt because that's what you do when you go to the doctor. You get him all dressed. It was yellow with a stripe. And we went to the neurologist, and Jake's like, well, do you want me to go with you? I'm like, no, I'm going for exercises. I have the grocery list. I'm going to the grocery store after this. And he's like, okay, love you. Bye. And so I go to the neurologist, and I'm sitting there and nothing at this point is clicking with me that I am at a freaking neurologist. I'm just I'm here for exercises. I feel these other people in the office, and I know what they're here doing, but I'm like, I'm not here for that. Those are other people. This is me. This is not happening. So Waylon and I are in the office and in the room, and he looks at his tongue, and I remember him starting to talk, and he's pointing to the chart, and he's talking about, and it's like that scene from the Peanuts where the teacher's like, wah, 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 and this is all I'm hearing. And I said, and what he did is he looked at his tongue, and his tongue flickered. And that is a neurological misfire when there's a lack of connection. It's kind of like being able to plug in a vacuum cleaner, but the vacuum cleaner won't work. Like it's just a misfire. And all of a sudden, and all I'm thinking is forceps, those damn forceps. And I go, are you telling me that my child is paralyzed? And he said, no, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, thank God. And he goes, no, you're not listening to what I'm saying. And he starts talking about SMA and, type 1, and your child's not going to live past a year. And I'm just like, what? And again, he's pointing, and now I'm like deer in the headlights. And he's like, where's your husband? And I'm like, he's at home. I'm going to the grocery store after this. Like, I have a plan. I have a list. I'm going to the grocery store. And he's like, where's your phone? I go, my phone is in my diaper bag. And he goes, give me your phone. And he got my phone out and he opened it up and he's like, call Jake. And Jake shows up and I'm still sitting there going, what the, I don't know what this man is saying. Like, I don't know what he's saying. And I hear it again. And I'm just like, I kind of had that moment with Sally Fields in Steel Magnolias. I'm like, I just want to hit somebody. I just want to hit somebody. And, and Jake's like, grabs me and he goes, hit me. I go, I don't want to hit you. I want to hit him. And I pointed to the neurologist and the neurologist like, you can hit me. And I'm like, and I just was like, oh my God. And so we immediately left there and we went to the closest church we could find. And I walked in with him and I held him and I said, I need you to make this go away. I need you to fix this. Like, I'm on my knees begging you, please make this go away. I can't handle this. And so what he had was SMA Type One, which is the infant child version of ALS, Lou Gehrig's. So there's 3 types. There's 1, 2, and 3. 1 is onset at birth. And so that's why my pregnancy was normal. He moved, everything was normal. There was no way of knowing while I was pregnant unless I would have had an amnio. But we had no history of anything, either one of us. I never had an amnio.
Why would you think to do that? Yeah.
And so, and with Type 1, what they die from is respiratory failure, is because that's the breathing that you were hearing that goes, and that's the belly breathing, because the diaphragm's pushing to help them breathe. Type 2 is childhood. It comes later in life. I don't know a lot about Type 2 because I just didn't focus on it, but I think for the most part, you can live, a healthy, you're going to end up in a wheelchair, but you can live a life. And then Type 3 is the adult version, which I don't really see how it's different than ALS, but there is a Type 3. 1 in 50 people are carriers, and it takes 2. Obviously, Jake and I are both carriers of this. And then when you are both a carrier, you have a 1 in 4 chance of having a healthy baby. So yeah, the dice did not roll in our way. So a little bit about Waylon. He had this amazing smile, bright smile, expressive eyes. All kids with SMA have very expressive eyes because when you're losing muscle tone, that's where you show your expression, is the eyebrows and the eyes. And he, like I said, I think he cried once. Put him in the pool. It was too cold. So he was like, Mom, this sucks. But he was such a good, and he looked like me. He came out, he looked like my dad, but he looks not like my dad. But he had these amazing eyelashes. So many times I'm like, just put mascara on him. Jake's like, Courtney, we're not putting mascara on him.
I've thought of doing that to Hayden. I'm not going to lie. I'm just curious. You have amazing lashes.
The boys get the lashes.
Yeah.
And that kid, oh my God, he had the stinkiest little feet. Like, I would put the lotion on his feet. The child, he just had these stinky little feet. I love little stinky feet. I love this little stinky feet. Loved Elmo. Oh God, why I introduced him to Elmo, I don't know. But we loved Elmo. I had to go get all the DVDs of every Sesame Street with Elmo so he could watch that. Loved bath time, because if you think about it, when you put somebody like that in water, gravity leaves and goes away. And so he can move. And it was the only time he could really move his spine and his hips. And he would just, we would literally hold him by the back of the neck and he would just go and have so much fun. So that became a very big ritual in our house, and kind of one that Jake and I were like, my turn. And every night we would go back and forth of, okay, it's my turn in the bathtub. And of course, we wanted to take pictures. We had to be very strategic because we're all naked. So we're like, okay, we have to put on bathing suits and we'll do this. And then, sorry, babe, I'm gonna have to tell the story. But there was one time, I'm sure you get this where you hear from the other end of the house, babe, because dads kind of struggle with some things, and even though they're simple, they struggle, and you hear babe from across the house.